So I know for a lot of you, men can be downright confusing, all right? And aggravating and frustrating and a pain in the you know what. We can go on and on and on. But, I want you to understand it doesn't have to be that way. It's just that there's a lot that maybe you're interpreting incorrectly, that you are not getting a proper explanation as to why what you're seeing is happening the way that it is. And that's what I'm here for, to break these things down, to kind of clear up some of this confusion and to make it easier for you to understand what actually works well and what doesn't. And so one of those things that women are confused about is this idea that, not trying hard is what works and gets a man. And the video is titled, why men love women who don't try hard. But I think there's a misunderstanding of what that actually means. And so let's get into it. First, let me explain the difference between not trying hard and playing hard to get. Because when women hear not trying hard, many take that as play hard to get. Playing hard to get is when you are intentionally and blatantly making things more difficult. When you're intentionally and blatantly holding back, making him basically chase after you, you are giving him more obstacles to jump over, okay? And to some of you, you might be thinking like, yeah, that's right. That's how it should be. No. That's not healthy. For a lot of reasons, it's not healthy. We won't get too deep into why, but that sets the stage for a lot of problems in the relationship later. I have a video I've done before about why making him chase is not a good idea. But when you're playing hard to get, the key word is you're playing. You're playing a game. That's not good. That's a problem. And so I do not want you to engage in playing hard to get. However, not trying hard is speaking more to not being over the top. All right. So playing hard to get puts you on one end of the spectrum, but when you're trying hard, you're on the other end of the spectrum. I'm trying to push you to the middle. Okay. I'm trying to push you to a more equal effort, mutually beneficial situation. We're working together to build something amazing. But when you're trying too hard, you're doing too much. This is an issue. All right. So don't confuse the two. You do have to play a part in the building of a great relationship, right? But let's give you some more clarity on why you're seeing men seem to enjoy or being drawn to women who don't try hard. And the first reason is because he's already very physically attracted to the woman. So I think that one of the things that gets misunderstood so much is that women see men, and even in some situations, give women a free pass. Maybe it could be a bad attitude. Maybe it could be that, oh, well, she's making him chase and he's okay with it. Whatever the case may be, she's engaging in unhealthy behaviors, yet still getting men to pursue her. And then that leads some women to think, well, then that's the way to do it. No, what you're overlooking is the fact that it's only working for her and not working. It's only not working against her because the man is so attracted to her, he is overlooking those red flags and those issues. Okay? So sometimes, yes, as a woman, depending on how attracted that man is to you, you will get away with more. That's a reality. Now, it's still not healthy. It still doesn't mean engage in these behaviors, but this is why you see it play out the way that you do. And so, like, one thing that's coming to mind is when you'll see some women who say, well, men don't want to be approached, right? And so how that doesn't work. And I'm giving you the flip side of this whole thing where it's not working in most cases because he wasn't already attracted to the woman, okay? But if he was attracted to her, it will in more cases actually work. So what's the real thing happening here? Attraction. It also reminds me of, like, I see these videos online And a lot of there's videos on how to talk to a woman, how to have game, so to speak, right? And there'll be this guy, he'll approach a woman and he says nothing special. Hey, how you doing? Oh, you enjoying yourself? Oh, let me get your number, boom, boom, boom. And he gets the number. And guys will be like, oh, look at his game. That wasn't game. She was just attracted to him. Plain and simple. Like, y'all gotta be real. If you're already attracted to a guy, he does not have to do as much as the guy who maybe you weren't as attracted to, and you have to be convinced almost to give this a chance, okay? All that to say, attraction plays a huge role in why we see certain things being acceptable or not being acceptable. So when you see men being drawn to a woman who's not trying hard, it might simply be because he just was already attracted to her. All right, now the second reason why men are attracted to women who don't try hard is because it exudes a level of confidence and it does not show desperation. So let's start with confidence. Confidence makes everyone look better. And confidence is about knowing your value, knowing your worth. And so we want that to be the case. But I must remind you, I don't want it to be the case to the point where now you slide back into, well, if I know my worth and I know my value, then he has to do all the work. He has to jump through the hoops. He has to prove to me this, that, and the other. Because now you're crossing the unhealthy line. Now you're crossing a line that will set you up for more bad than actual good, okay? So yes, value yourself to where you don't have to overdo it to build something with a man, that you don't have to overdo it to gain the attention of a man. That's where your confidence should lie. But you should also be confident enough to present your interest in the first place. I think a lot of women shoot themselves in the foot because they're not even willing to show there is interest and desire there. I always say, women are some of the worst flirters on the face of this earth. Y'all swear y'all flirting. You swear you're throwing hints. And it's like, no. How do you expect this man to look at that and really see, oh, she has actual interest in me, or she's giving me the green light to pursue her? And again, that's a different video where we'll break down flirting and how to more effectively flirt and all that. But the bottom line is you should be willing and should be confident enough to give that green flag, to show them that you have some interest, but I don't want you overdoing it. And so here's an example to me of the difference between being confident and presenting interest, but not quote unquote overdoing it. Some may disagree, but let's see. I'm a believer that, listen, if a woman sees a man she finds interesting and attractive, create conversation. And I think the furthest that woman should go is giving the man the number and saying, hey, if you're interested, give me a call. Okay? That's a level of, I'm confident enough to show you that I'm interested. I'm confident enough to give you my number, but I'm still putting the ball in your court to do something with this. Okay? The doing too much, in my eyes, in my opinion, some of y'all may disagree, is asking for his number and now putting it on yourself to basically lead this situation. That to me, again, can you be okay with that if, as I mentioned in number one, he's already very much attracted to you? Yes. But if he isn't, I've seen so many situations where the man's not really attracted to the woman does too much and she asks for the number, but some men don't know how to reject in that moment. They don't know how to navigate this situation. So they give the number, right? And may even engage in conversation, but we're never really interested. And of course, eventually either it goes nowhere, it was a waste of her time, not in her best interest. So to me, if he really is interested, giving the number is enough. You can stop right there. Some of y'all may be saying, hell no to even giving your number, but I'm just saying that's the furthest I would encourage a woman to go and think it would be effective. But yes, we have to understand even in doing that, does it mean he'll automatically call? No. But it still doesn't work against you, in my opinion, by offering the number up. But now let's talk about desperation, because as I said, not trying too hard stops you from looking desperate. And desperation, unlike, is like basically the opposite of confidence, to where it looks bad on you. All right. It doesn't make you look more attractive. It could make you look less attractive. And again, think about when you're talking to a man. The man who comes off as confident presents himself as more desirable. The man who comes off as desperate, you're going to see it very differently. So it's the same thing that can happen with women. And that's why, again, it's about not crossing that line of doing too much. All right. And I know some of y'all might be saying, well, Stephan, what's too much? Let's go with this one fundamental principle. If you are not getting matched energy, matched effort, and you're going beyond, that's doing too much. Okay. So again, even using the phone number situation, to me, you're giving the number. He has an opportunity to match the energy by actually taking the number, using the number, and then going from there. And now we're on the same page. But you asking for it, you then calling him after that. Where was his matched energy? Where was his matched effort? You see what I'm saying? That's when you know you're doing too much. But if you're both putting in the effort, you're both calling each other, you're both wanting to see each other, you're both doing the things necessary to have a successful relationship and a healthy dating process, then cool. Then those efforts are fine. So that's how you know. So yes, not trying too hard keeps you from looking desperate, which will make you look less attractive. All right, so let's keep things moving. The third reason why men are attracted to women who don't try too hard is because it removes unnecessary pressure. Okay? So what I mean by that is this. I do want to reiterate that at the end of the day, the fundamental, the thing that has to be there is attraction and actual genuine interest to begin with, right? And I do think that when that's there, you will always have more leeway, plain and simple. However, even though you have more leeway, when you are trying too hard, when a woman is trying too hard, it can make a man feel a little overwhelmed. It can feel a little bit like she's putting a lot of pressure. Now, I do not want you to confuse that with things like, trying to discuss what does he want in a relationship? Like, does he want something serious? Or discussing where do we stand? Where are we going with this? Though someone can claim that's putting pressure, and some men may use that as a defense mechanism to get you to shut up and not talk to them about it. To me, there's nothing wrong with that. Okay? But when you are calling him and he's not even reciprocating those efforts, when you are the one basically driving the situation, it can have a negative impact on the man. But I also think it's not even so much it's having a negative impact and putting pressure. I think it's exposing that there's a disconnect there. Because you have to ask yourself, if I'm trying so hard, why? Why am I doing so much? Because maybe I'm doing so much because I'm saying you as the woman, you are sensing that he's not as interested, and you're hoping to push this thing along off the strength of your interests. Okay? Or you're trying so hard because maybe you've experienced a bad relationship previously where things didn't work out, and maybe you felt like you didn't do enough. So now you're trying to overcompensate. And that stems from you have not healed from that past relationship. You know what I'm saying? There's a reason why you're crossing that line of doing too much. And you have to be willing to look at yourself in the mirror and understand what's going on. And if it is because he simply does not have the same interest level as you, because that's an important thing to understand. There will be many men that you may meet who has interest, but not enough interest to be serious. Not enough interest to move this thing along and get to a next level with each other. All right. They have this 1 foot in the door, 1 foot out. Or they may be interested in as far as they want to have some fun with you, but they don't want to be seriously committed with you. And because of that, they are trying to tamper down their efforts to not let you think that they're really about something more. Okay. So if you find yourself in that situation and you find yourself where you're doing a lot and he's not doing what you feel is enough, I always say, you don't see the red flag and you run, you see it and you address it. Talk to that man. If he is then unwilling to correct that issue, let him go. But again, it starts with you being willing to be honest with yourself about why it has even gotten to that point. All right, before I move to the next one, my videographer brought up a great point. So 2 other reasons why you might be feeling the need to put that pressure on and you're doing so much. One of those reasons is because of the pressure being put on you by family and friends. And so if you're a woman you got people asking you when you're going to have babies or when you're going to be married, when you're going to have a man, blah, 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 blah. Or you're just even seeing it all around you in other family and friends. And that's giving you this pressure and this anxiety about wanting to have that in your life. You've got to be mindful of that and not let that get the best of you, because that has pushed women into trying too hard, doing too much, overlooking red flags, and trying to make things work with a man who they should have just walked away from. Now, another reason that, and I'm going to give y'all a quick story in a second of why you might be doing too much and trying too hard, is because you feel like he's seeing other women, he's dating other women, and you are trying to stand out and separate from the pack. So you're now trying to overcompensate by doing extra and doing more. And it reminds me of when this one time, this young woman DM'd me. This is a true story. She DMs me. She says she's dating this guy and she's trying to figure out how to become his number one. And she was asking more so of what can she do sexually to become that number one. And I was like, well, wait a minute, slow down. Like, give me some more information. And she says this guy has a rotation of 6 women and 1 woman for each day of the week. Okay. And sorry to laugh. She was his Friday girl or Thursday girl. It don't matter. She was one of the days. Okay. But she felt like she already had the upper hand. This was her words. She felt like she was the youngest and the hottest. So she felt like she just needs to figure out how to put it on him in the bedroom and she's good. And I was like, listen, that's not going to work. That's not going to get you anywhere. It already seems like he doesn't really have that respect for you. And you're not going to be elevated from a girl in his rotation to number one. And as we talked more, what came out was he had a 7th girl. But girl number 7 was treated differently than all the other girls. Girls 1 through 6, he was having sex with, and he wouldn't like be out in the, like he would let them see each other. He didn't care. Girl number 7, he kept her away from all the other ones. They were not allowed to have any contact to that woman, and I don't know if the rest of them even knew who she was, but he completely kept her protected from that, if you want to call that protected. He wasn't even having sex with number 7, all right? He really valued number 7. I know that might sound crazy because he has 6 other women. What I'm saying, though, is he had 7 on a higher pedestal. Now, the real moral of that story as it pertains to this video is number 7 did not have to try harder. She didn't have to overcompensate. So the other girl, here she was trying to figure out how to do more, when in reality, it just wasn't there. You see what I'm saying? So you have to be mindful of, don't get caught up in some competition. I just want you to show up as your best true self. If your best true self is not enough for this man, then he ain't the man for you. Don't go any further than that. Hey, thank you for watching this video. Be sure to check this one out right here, and I'll see you there. If you want a relationship, if you still desire marriage in your life, then I want you to understand The key is not that for you to wait for a man, is for you to prepare to receive him. All right.